Hello everybody, in particular rapid fires. Rapid firers are of course the members of a community that is the only one that has a decent set of World War II rules. And of course all this you can see here is in 20mm size. I mean, a few things are 176, others are 172, 72nd scale, sorry. So this is the first Armoured Division for France, 1940. A very famous division, even if not very, very effective. It came in France plagued with problems. It is not part of BEF. BEF arrived in 39, beginning of 1940. These ones arrived in the thick of the fighting with the Germans already, which means trouble, of course. Some parts of some weapons were lost, namely Vickers guns were lost. There were no 81 millimeter mortars, which is a very important asset for the infantry on the motor battalions. I mean, the artillery didn't come. They were about to have the support of other units of artillery, which of course means trouble, because it's people that are not used to work with each other. Which is always bad, and so the division was not in a very good shape. The plans for this division a few months later was to have it completely equipped with cruiser tanks, only with a few Vickers for reconnaissance duties and things like that. But instead of that, half of the tanks, of the 250 tanks that division had, were in fact Vickers tanks, which means that only half were, of course, cruiser tanks, much more powerful. So, I mean, in fact, these tanks will work with tankettes. It's a little bit like the Germans had, for instance, half of their armor with Panzer ones only. I mean, they had more than that, of course. So it was really the division that will suffer from that question. So let's see the division in particular. Let's see here the second brigade here, and here is the third armored brigade. Okay, so you have here the Queen base with their red symbols. One of the things that is very nice about the British is the amount of symbols. You can see here the divisional symbol, the rhinoceros, the unit number, the weight allowed for, it's in this case 14, to be on top of a bridge. There is the embarkation symbols, and of course the squadron symbols. So plenty of symbols for you to play with, which makes the division very interesting. And also, I mean, if you start to place symbols, you then you are a little bit forced to build everything. At least this is my thinking a little bit. I mean, of course, some people, of course, don't place all these symbols, and they avoid issues with making everything. Well, as I like to place symbols, then I mean, I'm a little bit forced to make it all. Okay, so here is as I told you, the Queen's base. Here is the 9th Lancers. Okay, here is the 10th Hussars, and the so-called Light Brigade ends here with a few vehicles for the command of the brigade, and then comes the heavy brigade with the 2nd Royal Tank Regiment here, with this one with the yellow is the 3rd Royal Tank Regiment, the one that went to Calais, okay, with the mobile group, and then finally it's the 5th Royal Tank Regiment over there. Other units present are here the King's Royal Rifle Corps Motor Battalion here, okay, command of the brigade, and there is one here a little bit lost. What is this guy doing here? Let me check. Sorry, belongs here. Okay. Now everything is set, and this is the as I told you, the 2nd King's Royal Rifle Corps Motor Battalion. Here is the 1st Rifle Motor Battalion I'm reading, otherwise I can't memorize all this. And then the Motorcycle Battalion is the Queen's Volunteer Rifle Motorcycle Battalion. And I'm reading, of course, from the Bible of these things, of course, from our masters, as you know, Masters Marsh and Rumford, okay? And finally, the last unit is the artillery. I think it was 101st Anti-Aircraft and Anti-Tank Regiment, with 2-pounders and Vickers machine guns. Another problem, for instance, here you see with the division, instead of having Bofors 40mm guns, it had World War One Lewis guns that I will show you later. And finally, the command of the division over there. So let's talk a little bit now about the models. Let's start with tanks. There are 7 different tank models. The reason for this division to be built was this very nice A9 from PSC. This one is the one with 3-inch, which was only used, to lay smoke. Okay, unfortunately, couldn't fire any high explosive shells, rounds, which was another problem of the division. Very little way to destroy machine gun nests and anti-tank nests. So not an easy life for these people. Another vehicle was another tank. These are conversions from the A9 for them to become A10s with a different front, as you can see here, in evergreen and green stuff. Then there are plenty of A13s Mark 1. Okay, these ones are S models from China. Okay, very nice models, 2 in a box. Then the A13s Mark II. These ones are MiniGeneral, printed in plastic, PLA. Okay, using the crew from PSC, which is very nice, beautiful models, as you can see here. Different models. There are 2 models already shown. A third model, no, 4 models, sorry, already shown. There is a 5th model here. Yeah. There is the A10 close support. Okay, with the 3-inch visor again for smoke laying only. And then there are 2 models of the Vickers. In the second brigade, the brigade was crammed with these Vickers Mark C with autocannon. This one is heavy, so it's Lancer. Okay. There are other C models which are from MiniGeneral also. And then a little bit to the end of the brigade, and in the entire 3rd brigade, there are only Vickers Mark 6 Model B, which only have machine guns. Okay, with a few parts added and some my usual stuff, stowage and things like that, as all vehicles have. So these are the 7 different models of the different tank models. There are also a few more things here in the brigade. For instance, you have here for some recovery, you have some converted scamels, converted from the big one that is, what was the name of that thing? It had a kind of tank transporter. It was a tank transporter, in fact, and I converted it to this recovery vehicle, the SV1. There is a much better thing than this, of course, produced nowadays by EPG, which also produces the SV2. But I enjoyed a lot making this conversion. I made 2, one for each of the brigades. Okay, then there are some. Let me check here. There are some supply lorries. These ones here are from any Scale Models. Okay, also very sturdy and very nice. Same repeats on the other brigade. Now let's go to the infantry. Infantry has the command of the brigade here, with a Humber, staff car here, and a converted Bedford, 15 CWT truck, for it to become the command version with radio. It was everything built with all this back part that you can see here was entirely built in plastic art, on top of a MiniGeneral PLA print. So all these are also MiniGeneral here. You can see them here for them to carry the infantry. together with MiniGeneral scout carriers. Okay, you can see them here. All are scout carriers. They suffered, of course, usual add-ons with more extra infantry, with some brand carriers, um, with antenna and things like that. Some have the boys anti-tank rifle also, and the infantry are my usual Esci infantry with the gas mask added and made by with the milliput. Okay, like this they become very nice 1940 soldiers. Some of them still have the hoe shovel on the back, which is wrong, but on the last few units I've made of infantry for this division, I erased the hoe shovel. Here is some Zvezda mortars here, some converted 2-inch mortars here also, with Matchbox and Esci figures. I mean, with plenty of different Hemhar World War One officers turned into World War Two officers. Boys anti-tank rifles with MiniGeneral rifles, and Esci converted Piat shooters. And also this one is, whoops, let me check. The ammo supplier is of course Matchbox. And so the division is this motor battalion repeats here. It's this battalion here is the, let me check, is the King Royal Rifle Corps Motor Battalion. Okay, and this one here is the Rifle Motor Battalion, first Rifle Motor Battalion. This one is different. It has plenty of figures that you can see here in the first one, which is very good for 1940 miniatures, 1940 British infantry, which is the Atlantic, very old, but they don't have the shovel, and they have minimum staff on their torsos, which makes very good. Also, very clean helmets with no netting, no nothing, which means that they are perfect for 1940. There are other positions here. For instance, here you can see from Atlantic, and they make very nice. It is from a box called Fusiliers, British Fusiliers. Very old. I still had a few boxes of these from that stock that I like to make, that I never regret to have, and so I managed to make plenty of these for 1940. So this is also there are some, for instance, some AJT new. Let me just focus. Sorry, some AJT Bren fighters, also very good. Plain helmets, as you can see, no hoe shovel, perfect for 1940. You just need to add, of course, the usual, gas mask bag. And it continues along the other companies. Also, AJT and Matchbox pieces to make this mortar crew. The 2-inch mortar is this time full AJT. More Hemhar and Hemhar here to the left, Esci to the right, and Radioman from AJT. Same about the transport. Okay, MiniGeneral again. Scout carriers from also from MiniGeneral with the usual add-ons. And by the way, the brand carrier platoons are mixed again. Some of them have the MiniGeneral boys anti-tank rifles. Others are AJT, Airfix, Esci, a little bit of everything is here. Now for the QVR. QVR is here with plenty of motorcycles, very beautiful ones from SHQ. They are very beautiful things. They're very detailed and very complete and very well done. Another problem that I forget to tell you: the QVR went to France without, in fact, without its Norton motorcycles. So they used French trucks and things like that to move. Many of them, um, instead of having rifles, had pistols. So I placed maybe 5 or 6 stands like this instead of. Oops, let's try to see if it focus. Instead of having guys with the Lee Enfield, plenty of them are the officer of the Esci box with a pistol, as it should. I mean, of course, I mean, I didn't place any shoulder titles, nothing like that, on the QVR, so I can use these figures for another infantry battalion. Even I mean, even with a big number of guys with pistols. Sorry. Okay. I mean, they can be used as any normal standard. Sorry, infantry unit. Uh, the the dingoes are MiniGeneral. This Bedford is any scale models, and more any scale models to carry the 2-pounders. Some of them are Zvezda. Others are MiniGeneral with AJT. No, with the guy sitting is a AJT from the American World War One box, turned into a, with the help of a lighter, of course, turned into a British, and the others are PSC figures with, as you can see over there, with gas mask bags. Okay, these PSC figures come from the 6-pounder box. I mean, there should be something else pulling these guns. Instead, I mean, in fact, it should be dragons, Dragon 2 toes. I don't have them, but I also saw that it was pulled by this the Morris vehicle. This is a Matchbox converted to look like the one used by the BF. And I also used a few N-scale models, Bedfords here, to pull them. One last unit is these very generic trucks, which I use also for the French, painted in British style and camouflage. But in fact, they are just generic toys. But they go along. They go well, relatively well, with other figures and models. So they're useful. I spoke about these ones also on my French videos, on videos about French units. And in fact, look, this is what the British brought to shoot down Stokers and Messerschmitts and Junkers and things like that. They brought, instead of 40mm Bofors for the first Armoured Division, they brought very old, even if they were, I mean, they were refurbished. I mean, it is World War One Vickers guns. I mean, I don't know exactly if they were like this. I mean, the Vickers gun is more or less like this. It's a scratch build. This is the fighter is a guy firing a Lee Enfield from the Revel Australian box. Okay, with added gas mask as usual, gas mask bag. The other one is also coming from the Revel box. I mean, a little bit of fire on the legs made it. Made the figure turn his arms and head a little bit up, as if in an anti-aircraft roll. And then, I mean, some pieces of plastic made the Vickers. I mean, I saw this tripod being used to fire the Vickers. I'm not sure if this was the correct tripod for this anti-aircraft unit of the 101st Anti-Aircraft and Anti-Tank Regiment. And I built it because it looked for me more logical. There were others made of cement and things like that I don't think were very logical to be brought to France. So this was lighter, and I think that it was something like this, but I'm not sure really. It's just a guess. Finally, the command of the division. There's a guy, MiniGeneral command car with some some converted radio man. I don't really remember how I did it. And then there are some lengthened, probably placed on top of others of legs, yeah, different legs. And then with the help of green stuff, they became taller, because these are the 176 officers of the Matchbox box of British infantry. So they became taller, and they go along very well with the radio man and things like that, and other figures that get close. Then there is this is an Austin, I think, if I'm not mistaken, from MiniGeneral, for the command. There is another help, which is a Daimler, with an AJT officer on top of it. It can be used, of course, in other units. And finally, I mean, I placed it here because Mario Laneja offered me this one, this small Austin 7. Is it Austin 7? I think so. I know that the BEF used this one. I saw pictures of it on a convertible way. I mean, this rooftop, I don't know if it was used fully enclosed. I don't know if it was used as a military item. I'm not sure. But I mean, it was a gift, so I placed it into command of my first armored. So this is the full division. I hope you have enjoyed. It is a division that I enjoyed making in the last 5 or 6 years. Plenty of trouble, plenty of work, plenty of research was necessary. If you found some mistakes, please tell me, because mistakes can always be corrected. And if you have paintbrush and some tools and some paint, there's always the possibility for you to change whatever you've done with this hobby. Okay, so please inform me if you have something to say. Hope you have enjoyed. Thank you so much. Bye bye, and see you next. Bye bye.